right, everybody, Dr. Rafich here. We're on the last article for JAVMA, January 1st, 2016, the characteristics of the labor market for veterinary technician specialists in 2013. This study comes out of an emergency hospital in Pennsylvania, a technician school in California, and a university in New York, and a research group in Massachusetts. The objective is to determine characteristics of the labor market for veterinary technician specialists. They're termed VTSs. During 2013, identify characteristics that significantly associated with pay rate. It's a survey, 351 veterinary technician specialists, 29 question multiple choice survey sent out in early 2014 to all individuals who were certified veterinary technician specialists, and results found the weighted mean pay rate for respondents was $23.50 per hour. 51.3% received a raise after getting their certification for specialty, being male, graduating graduate school, having over 4 years of experience, holding a supervisory or management position, being employed by an academic employer or referral practice, and working in the Northeast or outside the U.S. had an increased chance of getting paid better. Okay, introduction. The National Association of Veterinary Technicians of America created its Committee on Veterinary Technician Specialists in 1994 in response to a perceived need for development of veterinary technician specialty organizations. There are 11 academics associated that are recognized by the National Association of Veterinary Technicians of America. I'll just go ahead and list them. Emergency critical care, anesthesia and analgesia, internal medicine, dental, surgery, nutrition, clinical pathology, clinical practice, equine, zoologic medicine, behavior, dermatology has been provisionally recognized. Again, remember this is 2013, 2014, so it could have been changed by then. Internal medicine has subspecialties for small animal, large animal, cardiology, oncology, and neurology. In 2008 survey of 163 veterinary technician specialists found that the typical VTS was a woman between 26 and 45 years old in private practice in an urban area in the U.S. who had been a veterinary technician for 6 to 10 years and had been a specialist for 2 to 3 years. Mean pay rate in 2008 was $23.48 per hour. They mostly worked 31 to 50 hours per week. They did not receive a one-time bonus or pay raise when they got certified. They received 3 weeks of paid time off yearly and received between $250 and $500 per year from their employer for continuing education. The estimated mean pay rate of $23.48 in 2007 was greater than the mean wage of $13.90 for veterinary technicians during 2007, as reported by the United States Bureau of Labor Statistics. In 2007, or since 2007, combined membership of the veterinary technician specialty academics has risen by 128%, from 345 to 786. Results. I'm just going to go over the percentages that were the highest for these data points, but there's of course a lot more percentages, and that's why I put the information of the paper itself in the description of this video, so you guys can find it if you want it from PubMed. 45.3% were members of the Academy of Veterinary Emergency and Critical Care Technicians, 25.6% for anesthesia and analgesia, 11.7% internal medicine, 17.4% for the others. 95.7% are female, 47.3% are between 35 and 44 years old, 95.4% white or Caucasian, 23.4% employed in the Midwest, and 23.1% in the South. 52.7% urban area, 51% have an associate's degree, 54.1% work in referral, 35% had been a technician for 11 to 15 years. Hours per week worked, 31 of 40 in 46.4% of technicians. having a supervisory or management position was 58.4% did not have those positions. The weighted mean pay rate was $23.50 per hour. 89.2% did not receive a one-time bonus when they received certification. 48.7% did not receive a pay increase when they became certified. And those who did get increases, 21.4% were less than $1 per hour. Respondents receiving 1 to 2 weeks or 3 to 4 weeks of paid time off, including vacation, sick, personal leave, and other, 43%. 63.5% receive an annual uniform allowance of $1 to $250. Most received an annual continuing education allowance. 27.1% received a continuing education allowance. Of those people, $1 to $500 was about 27%. $501 to $1,000 was about 27%, and over $1,000, 26.5%. 78.3% reported that the cost of their health insurance was either partially or completely covered by the employer. 76.6% reported that their employer provided some type of retirement plan, and 62.4% the employer made regular contributions to the retirement plan. 55.6% indicated they had lectured or instructed wet labs on behalf of the facility at conferences. When respondents were asked whether they thought their pay was competitive, 58% thought yes. When they were asked if they were aware that there are statistics out there on this, 81.2% said they either were unaware or they were aware but they didn't look at it yet. The pay rate category was significantly associated with age, having a management or supervisory position, geographic area, level of education, employer type, duration of experience as a veterinary technician, duration of experience as a specialist, duration of employment with the current employer, and the duration of being a veterinary technician specialty in academia. There was not an association with gender. Pay rate was higher for those who held management positions, and higher for academic work or referral practice work, and higher for the Northeast. If you attended graduate school, you had more pay. If you had 4 to 7 years of experience as a veterinary technician specialist, and for those with 8 to 10 years of experience as a specialist, got paid more. Being employed, we already did that. Northeast employment or outside the U.S. employment, more pay. Being male, more pay. Discussion. Candidates have credentials to practice as a veterinary technician, obtain postgraduate training through clinical training or a mentorship program within the field of specialization, meaning 5,760 hours in the field of emergency and critical care for emergency critical care technicians, for example. Obtaining continuing education within the specialty, so about 40 hours, and document proficiency in advanced nursing skills. In addition, submit letters of recommendation, have multiple case reports, case logs, and documentation that they are in good standing with professional organizations. 92% of students attending AVMA accredited veterinary technology programs are female and 44 years old or less, mostly white or Caucasian. 83% of students attending AVMA accredited veterinary technician programs are white or Caucasian. Because AVMA recognized veterinary technology programs lead to an associate's or bachelor's degree, it's not surprising that 86% held one of these degrees. 51.3% receive a pay increase when they became specialized. The weighted pay of $23.50 per hour. In contrast, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, mean pay rate for veterinary technicians in 2013 was $15.27 per hour, or $31,760 annually, and a pay rate of $21.39 per hour is the 90th percentile for veterinary technicians. However, the Bureau's classification of veterinary technician includes both credentialed and non-credentialed, and potentially specialists. In agreement with a previous study, data from this study here suggests that there was a financial benefit to becoming specialized. Although the nominal mean pay rate for veterinary technicians increased from $13.90 per hour to $15.27 per hour from 2007 to 2013, After adjusting for inflation, there was essentially no change or a slight decrease in pay over time. In contrast, nominal mean pay rate for specialists in this study, $23.50 per hour, essentially unchanged from another report in 2007 for $23.48 per hour, 2 cents difference. After adjusting for inflation, this represents nearly a 10% decrease in actual pay rate. Yikes. 56% reported that they had lectured at a local, regional, national conference on behalf of the hospital. Males had a higher chance of being paid better. So overall, results of this study suggest that typical veterinary technician specialists in 2013 are white women between the age of 25 and 45 years of age who are not supervisors in a referral practice in an urban area in the U.S., technicians for 11 to 15 years, specialists for less than 5 years, working 31 of 50 hours per week, earning on average $23.50 per hour. The typical specialist did not receive a one-time bonus, did receive a pay raise, did receive 3 weeks of paid time off, had health insurance expenses partially or totally covered, had a retirement plan, received less than $250 per year for uniform allowance, and received between $750 and $1,500 a year for continuing education. Being male, graduating graduate school, having over 4 years of experience as a specialist, having a supervisory or manager role, being employed by academia or referral practice, working in the Northeast, and working outside the U.S. increase your odds of getting paid better. Well, that's depressing. If you go through additional training, if you watch this channel, you've seen other reports of technician reports like this. If you go through the training to become specialized, and not only you're making not only you're not getting an increase in your pay, but you're also you're actually losing money on it. Especially if you take into account the time that you've lost with going to become credentialed and paying for credentials, and to not even get compensated for it afterwards. Yikes. What a profession, man, we are in. What a profession we're in. I don't know. I guess for veterinarians, pay your techs better. I don't know. Figure it out. Maybe give them a little more responsibility, but hike up their production more, or their salary more. There's got to be a way around this. And for pet owners who are watching this, this is the state of the profession. And so when you complain about prices being high, they're high even without us paying our staff appropriately. So, keep that in mind when you complain about veterinary care. All right, folks, that's the end of this issue of JAVMA. We'll move on to another journal tomorrow. Thanks for supporting the channel. Please subscribe, spread the word, and donate. Thank you.